Alright, welcome back. So today we are going to work on the Slash, the Losi, and I'm going to try to solve a couple issues. So, had the Losi out on the road yesterday, did one run, and noticed that the tires that I was balancing were bouncing really bad. Really bad. So I'm going to try to figure that out. I kind of know what it is because in balancing, if you saw my balancing video with the Martin Brothers wheels, you would have seen that the tire was oblong. Apparently this is creating a really bad situation, which is weird because I had the Hoosiers on before and they didn't need balancing and they didn't shake. But we're going to try to figure out what's going on with those tires. So we're going to spin it up, take a look at it, see what the heck is going on and why it's shaking so much. I did get a lot of questions like, why did you run the Traxxas so much and not the Losi? I was expecting to see the Losi run more. Well, guess what? The Losi was having an issue in the burnout. I said it. Tires look like they're out of balance. I'm not going to sit there and beat up on the suspension or beat up on the chassis or ruin the body or crash because the tires are bouncing like basketballs going down the road. We're going to stop, put it away, figure out what the heck is going on, consider now balance the wheels. So go back, watch the video, take a listen to what I said. Sounds like the wheels are out of balance. Did I balance them? I even looked at the weights to make sure I balanced them. But long story short, we are going to work on the rear end. And if you notice, all of my RCs, the back tires are off the ground because you don't want them out of balance. I keep saying it. Wish people would do it. Do not let your RC sit on a table overnight. Don't throw it in your car after you've been doing burnout after burnout and let it sit on the wheels. If you can't do it, take the wheels off and then throw the RC anywhere. Then at least the tires will be still round. Because out of round wheels are definitely going to cause an issue, as you see on the Losi. So, Traxxas did great yesterday. Somebody was saying I needed to align or set the camber on my Traxxas because the tire patch is wrong. Got a space there, got a space there, the patch is in the middle. The tire will grow and get skinnier. So all I'm looking for is this little edge there and this little edge there. That's letting me know my contact patch is here. To me, that's perfect. I don't need to set alignment anymore. That's good enough. It's getting contact, that's all I need. As you see, it's really dirty. But I'm going to make a change to the wheelie bar. When I originally put on this wheelie bar, I put it in the middle slot. And if you saw the video yesterday of me running it time and time again, it would, here. So like this, I basically got 2 fingers to the ground. So what would happen is it would squat, it would come up, and then of course it would lift up on that suspension because the tire grows. And we would do the wheel stand this way. Now it's not a teeter-totter point. It's basically putting power onto the rear wheels. But if you're going down the whole 132 feet of it on the wheelie bars, then you're steering from these little wheels in the back and these wheels. Basically what we want it to come up, we want it to tap the wheelie bar, and we want it to set back down and keep moving forward. You don't want it way up like this doing wheelies down there because you're going to be rocking back and forth. You don't want it to come up and ride the wheelie bar all the way down the track. Yes, it is putting traction here, but we don't need any more traction there after the launch. We need it down on 4 wheels so that we can actually steer the thing and keep it in our own lane. So I'm going to lower this one. The problem that Traxxas has, unlike the Losi, I'll show you what I mean by the Losi. Let's get the body off. And I explained this as something, this is why quality with Losi I love. So here, the Losi wheelie bar. The Losi wheelie bar has unlimited amounts of adjustment. You can fine tune it because of this turnbuckle. You can go all the way down. You can go 1/8 of an inch up. You can go everywhere with a turnbuckle. Traxxas? No. Why not give us a turnbuckle? I don't understand. They give us a really nice long wheelie bar because the thing's going to wheelie all the time. But no turnbuckle. So what do? They give us 3 positions. We got 3 holes on each side. Well, 3 positions isn't enough, is it? How are we going to... Traxxas. I'm going to play like I'm Traxxas. How are we going to fix only having 3 positions? What if those positions don't work for you? Or it might be 4 positions. I don't know. Let me take a look and see how many holes there are. I thought there was only 3. There could be more holes. I didn't really pay attention. I just stuck it in the middle hole. So let me take a look with my bad eyesight. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So they give you 5 positions, not 3, 5. So I stuck it 2 down in the middle, 2 up in the middle. So I stuck it in the middle. So they give you 5 positions. So instead of 10 positions, what can they do to give you more than 10 positions? Anybody? Comment below. What did Traxxas do to give you more than 10 positions? I know they did something. I'm going to show you. They gave us little wheels. Little tiny wheels here. So basically, it's kind of like a gear vendor. You can split every position. So if I wanted to go up a half a position, I would leave them where they are and I would add the wheels. That would give us a little bit higher. We're splitting the difference holes. I want to go down, but I don't want to go down too far. What am I to do? Kind of curious. How am I going to utilize those wheels to give me what I'm looking for? I'm going to go down 1 position and then I'm going to change the wheels so that it's not sitting so low. So I'm going to go down 1 complete hole and then I'm going to go up a half a size by the small wheels. That's how I'm going to solve this problem. So what we're going to do now, I want to lower the wheelie bar. So I'm going to go down 1 hole. So now we're no longer in the middle. So now there's only 1 more hole to go down on this wheelie bar. So we are coming to the bottom of this wheelie bar. But now this could be too low. And if this is too low, which I think it's going to be because RC was putting up some good times. But the problem was it was on the back wheels. So now, if you look at this, look how low we are. We went 1 finger all the way down just by going 1 hole here. Because this bar is so long, whatever action, there is a reaction. So our action is 1 hole down. It's making a drastic change because this is whatever long. Kind of like adding weight. If I add a weight 10 pounds here, what's it going to equal up here? Well, 10 pounds here, if this was, well, 10 pounds up here, if this was 10 feet long, this would be 100 pounds the rear wheels wouldn't have to lift. So every 10 pounds, like getting rid of a battery in a car and putting it in the trunk, is 100 pounds the rear wheels don't have to lift. Same as normal drag racing. So I don't want it this low. So what I'm going to do is change out these little wheels in the back. And then we're going to go out and test this and see if my theory of getting the time any faster paid off. Or should I let it wheelie? Should I have left it where it was? I have no clue. But there's no bearing in this. They just have it pushed onto a stick with 2 little... Can we get any cheaper, Traxxas? Like, I'm going to have to buy wheels soon because these things are going to wear out. At least put it on a bearing for me. So basically, Traxxas is probably going to come up with an upgraded wheel for their wheelie bar back here. And I don't think they're I wonder if their wheels do work back here. They're aluminum bearing wheels. But I'm not going to find out right now. That'll be in the next episode of why is Earl only changing one small thing at a time on his drag car. So I'm going to put these bolts back in, and that's basically going to be half the distance down as what I lowered it. So Traxxas really made it complicated because kids aren't going to figure out what to do with these little wheels sitting in a package. Only if they watch my video. They're going to be like, why is he putting little wheels on the back? So that's how I'm going to solve that. God, look at how dirty this hand is. Man, now I'm going to get people saying why I didn't get a manicure. I should have got a manicure before I did this. I don't know why I work for a living. So there we go. So now it's only going to come up that far. Before it's going to hit that wheelie bar and probably settle this thing back down. That's still kind of low for me. But we're going to see how it does. I know it's going to come up, slap this bar, and hopefully set back down. Either that, or it's going to try to come up, it's going to unload the suspension, the thing's going to start spinning out every time it hits the wheelie bar. Because it's still going to have too much torque and doesn't have enough height. One of those two things are going to happen, and we're going to find out which one of those two things. So stay tuned for how Earl crashes his Traxxas Slash running it. How I total my Traxxas Slash. And by the way, if you haven't noticed, I own a bunch of Slash Traxxas cars. I've been building them for years. Watermelon being my favorite. Another way to accomplish this, if you didn't want to lower the wheelie bar, go check out RC Guy Garage's channel. What he had done was add aluminum wheels to the front. That could also be another option of trying to keep the front end down. Get it to balance, add some weight to the front. Easiest way to add unsprung weight, add some front aluminum wheels. That's going to add weight. As you see, he's not even touching his wheelie bar. He's got his wheelie bar moved way out of the way. He's trying to play with it without the wheelie bar. I'm trying to make the adjustment utilizing the wheelie bar. I'm going the easy route. He's going the hard route. So now that we got that solved. Oh, I almost knocked you guys over. This long wheelie bar. Well, you guys are still in the picture. So let me find a tool and see if we can get these wheels off so I can see what the heck is going on with these tires. Because I really want it to run. As you see, I have all those in my pocket because I was planning on doing clutch adjustments on this thing yesterday. But that didn't happen because the stupid tires were spinning out of control. And I don't know why. Well, I kind of know why. And these were brand new tires when I stuck them on here. So I am going to spin them up and see what the heck. It's definitely not the weight that I did. The weight balanced it out. See, these are the ones I balanced. And it's not the tape I stuck on it. It's something to do with the tire. See how it's pulling out over there? It's spinning up and becoming oblong. I don't understand what's going on here. It doesn't even feel like it's tight in there. But I know it's clamped in there. Let's spin this thing. They balanced out so good, they're just not smooth when it comes to hitting the ground. And it's very irritating. Because it was leaving high and low spots in the burnout. I have a feeling these tires are defective. They are belted and they shouldn't have high and low spots in them. So something is going on. Look at that thing. And I can feel, look at the tire going up and down. Here, let me do this. I'm going to spin this thing up. Let's see how off it is. We're going to road force this thing. Look at that. Up and down. Thing's got something going on with it. And this was the good side. This side did even worse. What junk. It's really irritating to me to put on a new set of wheels and see that. So before I take off this wheel, let me check this Proline wheel. I have seen high and low spots before, but just not to where it bounced the tire in the middle of the burnout or bounced the tire going down the track. These were the purple ones that I glued up. See? No high and low spot. Hoosiers, and they're glued. And I've only ran them a couple of times. As you see, the patch is only in the center. It's here because the tire would stretch so tall that we were only riding in the center and I was losing control of these two wheels. But they were perfectly round. To see that with a Proline tire, that high and low spot, that thing's ridiculous. Like, how are you supposed to drive that? It's gonna wreck my RC. On top of that, doing a burnout, it's just gonna wear through the tire on the high spots. The high spots are gonna want to become low spots. And then those low spots are basically gonna have a ton of rubber that we didn't use in them. Very disappointed. But I am gonna take these tires off. I'm gonna contact Proline and find out what the heck is going on. I'm also gonna look at these bead locks just to make sure, because I mean, they didn't come off, so I don't understand what the heck is going on. Oh, my tool came loose. Listen to this thing. Look at that. That is ridiculous. What am I supposed to do, a burnout until they're round? I mean, I don't know how to make a round tire. The tire should be round, brand new. I shouldn't have to make the tire round. These are belted tires from Proline. They are the reactions and they are the hard compound. So as you see, says reaction, says Proline, and I opened the bag and I mounted them. I know this because I was talking about the stupid bag, this one, how you can't seal the bag. Reaction. S3s, these are the ones I just mounted up, and these were the ones I pulled off of it. Yeah, these were the purple compounds. And these weren't having an out of roundness. That's just ridiculous. So I'm gonna put those back in the bag. I'm not spending no $40 on some tires that aren't round. I just have a feeling they're defective. There's an issue, and I don't know what it is with it. But God, this is so much more balanced than that is. Like I said, Losi quality. You just can't beat it. I think I'm gonna stick the stock tires, which are those, back on this. I originally had these rims on that, but I wanted the bead locks so that I can continue to run this. But I'm really not liking the vibration. So I think I'm gonna take the wheels back off that, put the stock wheels back on this. I was really hoping to run bead locks on it, but it doesn't look like I'm gonna be able to. So, and I think I'm gonna leave the aluminum wheels up front and just grab the rear wheels from that. And we're gonna throw the stock rear wheels, because the stock tires that come on the Losi, they work really well. They honestly do. And that's why I stuck them on that. They work so good, I don't want to wear them out through this whole testing stage, just like I don't want to wear these out. I'm hoping that we'll be able to get tires soon. I do have the Losi tires on order, and I do have the Traxxas slicks on order. When they come in, I couldn't tell you, but they are on order, both of them. So this came off the left side. I'm going to keep it on the left side because I definitely don't want, you can see my centers are pretty much going away now. Right, you can see how much this thing is eating up the center. And you could tell right here, the last pass, that it drifted to one side. But I really don't want to ruin these tires. They're really good tires that come on the Losi and on the Traxxas. Both these MTs, they're both using MT. I'm assuming it's close to the same compound. I couldn't tell you. All I know is they both work really, really well. Which I'm happy with the Losi tires, and I'm really happy with the Traxxas tires. What I'd love to do is put the Traxxas tires on this, which we will be doing soon. And then the other thing, I did get a recommendation. Somebody said, hey, why don't, if you like the drag launch kit so much, why don't you take the drag launch kit and put it in here, take the controller and put it over here. So I am going to take the receiver out of there, stick it into here, and see if the receiver will work for drag launch on the Losi. If you guys want to see that, let me know, because that's what I planned on doing. Somebody literally asked. It's something I had plans on doing, because I want to see if you can buy a receiver, just the receiver, because I have tons of those remotes with the flip switches. If I can buy the receiver and have drag launch, I could put drag launch in a bunch of cars, which I would love to do that. And then you can bind them all. You can bind, I think one Traxxas remote holds 10 or 20 cars in one of the Traxxas remotes. It's another thing that's good about Traxxas, is that their remotes, literally, you can bind them to like 10 or 20 cars. That's awesome. At least I think it's awesome. That's why I don't think the Traxxas controller is that bad of a controller. Yes, the design is not as good as the new Spectrums, but I don't think the new Spectrum will hold 20 cars in it. I think it only holds one car. I could be wrong, but those are my thoughts, is that I think it only holds one car. So I'm going to get this put on here. The other thing I want to take a look at is the Martin front wheels. RC Guy Garage was going to put the Martin Brothers front wheels on the Traxxas, and was having an issue to where they wouldn't mount up to the new Ready to Run Drag Slash, which is a problem. At least for me, it's a problem, because I would like to run these wheels on that car. Now, I did have these, and that is a Traxxas front end, and that's a Traxxas rear end in the Chuckworth RC. I literally took a two-wheel drive Traxxas, changed out the chassis, and made it mid-motor. And I was able to get these wheels to work on there. Now, I did have some rubbing when I turned, but I had to flip some bolts around and shave a little stuff. But and if you guys did see, even putting the Martin Brothers wheels on here, I had to run a spacer, because this is a Losi, and these center hubs are not for a Losi, they're for a Slash. They're actually for a DR10, not a Slash. They just work on Slashes, because he only offers DR10 or TLR, which is Losi. And the center hubs on this are for a DR10. Apparently the DR10s aren't working on the Slashes. So on this one, he says I gotta buy, he literally left me a message saying, oh, you don't have to run the little washer, you just need to buy the TL. I bought the wrong ones. Well, I bought these before this drag car was out. So, in order to run them on this Losi, he wanted me to buy new centers. Me? It's cheaper to pick up a washer and stick a washer behind it. Then I don't have to buy anything. I just run a washer. That's my solution. Buy yourself a washer. You got a washer laying somewhere around the house if you do RC. So, if you don't want to run this little silly washer like I have in here, if I can get it off, this little washer that I run back here, just buy the TLR front hubs. these center hubs, they do unbolt. You can just buy yourself a set of TLRs. So that'll solve the issue of you having to run this washer. But my plans are to run the Martin Brothers fronts, and I want to see why they don't fit on the slashes. So let me flip these around. I don't need to move those, I just need to move the RC. And then rear wheels off the ground. Musical RC. So I haven't pulled these wheels yet. And RC Guy Garage, you see how that thing wiggles? Look at all the play in the front of these. That's a normal slash thing right there. There's nothing odd about having all this play in the front of a slash. That's normal. They really need shims and a bunch of stuff to get them so that they don't wiggle like that. He was saying something about these hexes were different, and he had to run Hobio hexes, or any other hex. It's just a standard hex. They are the black hexes. Those are shallow. Oh, these hit pretty bad. Oh, I see. Yes. It's a lot fatter. This thing is massive. So this caster block is what they call it up here, is really big on the new Drag Slash. I'm going to get Watermelon's body off. Don't look inside Watermelon. I don't show the electronics to it. I don't want anybody copying my ideas. That's why I normally keep the bodies on, so you can't see inside my RCs to know the cheatingness I got inside. Because somebody was saying that the reason the Slash ran so good yesterday, not because I was on the perfect road, but because I had Traxxas's gyro working. TSM. They're saying I had TSM working on this, is why it went a 2.7 yesterday. And I just had to chuckle, because if you guys watched the video, the front wheels were never on the ground. So even if I had TSM on, the front wheels never touched the ground. I couldn't steer it. So would it matter if the front wheels aren't on the ground? Come on, guy. Before you say something, watch the video. Front wheels were, even if I had TSM turned all the way on, which I didn't, I showed it, I rocked it, I hit the throttle, because you got to hit the throttle to activate TSM. So I did that and showed you that there's no TSM on. But he says because I had TSM on is why the RC ran so good. At least I think that's what he was saying. So here we go. So this piece right here, this caster block, the wheel actually fits without hitting the caster block. This wheel fits on here without hitting this caster block. This one, on the new one, doesn't. You can't get it on because it hits all the bolts, because it's taller. It is taller. Yep, just too tall. This part seems a lot fatter right here on these lower control arms versus what I have going on of these being really skinny down here. As you see, these turn in. And these are real thick and bulky. And the screw is now hitting this wheel. So they did make some sort of change to this lower that isn't allowing this wheel to work. But it works on watermelon because of the lower control arm that I'm using. But he was also saying the Martin Brothers or the Reefs wheels fit no problem. And they do. Because there is no bolts on the backside. These bolts, which are hitting, aren't hitting. So maybe we run the aluminum wheels on the front of this. If my wheelie bar trick doesn't work, that's what we're going to end up doing. But the wheelie bar could have fixed it. I don't know. So I think, yeah, Traxxas uses the black nut for the new Losi. So I'm going to put my wheels back where they belong. Got all these wheels I'm taking off different RCs to figure out what the heck. What is Guy talking about? But RC Guy Garage had found that when he was trying to put aluminum wheels on the front of his Drag Slash. And he's absolutely right. But watermelon, it fits on watermelon because it's a different design, lower control arm. So that's going to go back over there, I think, because, yeah, we're going to put these Traxxas ones, but the hex seems the same. See, I didn't have to shave down the hex for that. But I know on the Reefs wheels that you got to do a little filing on the Reefs wheels if you want them to fit good into the square. And I think that's why he was having an issue and he had to change out these hexes. Because he said there was slop up and down. But I like the Traxxas front. Now I wonder if I can get rid of this play. We would have a shim behind that hub bearing. Yeah, it's the whole thing wiggling. It's the whole hub. There's not much I can do about that. It's going straight. It's a slash. Really can't get rid of all this slop that's in here. I wish I could. I'd have to do a lot of modifications to get that slop out of there. Changing out to aluminum bell crank. Definitely changing the bearing carrier on the front to aluminum. So I'd have to do a few things to get that working properly. But there we go, guys. That's the plan. I still haven't made any shock adjustment. God, that one's coming up really slow. But I haven't made any shock adjustments, taken out any shims. It's basically the way it came out of the box. I haven't made any corrections to this RC at all. I'm sure pretty soon I will have to make some adjustments. There's not even washers on that. Like, that could pop off. But, God, that spring is really close to that tire too. Now, so somebody was showing that this hits the transmission case or hits the cover when you have this cover installed. It hits the transmission case with the control arm. I don't have this cover on, which this is the Traxxas one, I believe. I have two of them out here. So here's the Losi one. I think I knocked the screws out. Oh, there was one screw. Thought they were gone. Where'd that screw go? Yep. So they're saying with this cover on, they were saying it hits the transmission. When it goes to, I mean, it hits the ground before it literally hits the cover. You see how much more I have to go? When it's on the ground there, this axle is hitting this cover. So what they're saying is Losi has a bad design because this thing is hitting the cover. Now I have the cover off and it doesn't hit the transmission case. It literally bottoms out to the wheelie bar. But remember, I have the cover off. He was complaining because this side was basically, he was saying it was hitting this train. You'd have to travel so far before it hits that. And my shock's almost bottomed out. I mean, that thing's on the ground. It should never have to travel that far before it hits this cover. So get that out of your head. I have the cover off anyway. Don't need a cover in here, especially while you're tuning. Even if you pop this little rubber grommet, you can't see the slipper clutch. You can't see what's going on. Here's my Traxxas. I pulled the cover to the Traxxas one too. Here's the Losi one. I pulled the cover to all of mine. The only time I'll put those covers back on is after I'm done tuning. After everything is working properly, I'll finally put the cover back on and call it a day. But even with the cover on there, going that far down, it's not going to affect the way this RC launches left or right. It's just not going to happen. So, but anybody out there don't believe me on that, I don't know what to say, but 100% not going to cause an issue of that control arm hitting that cover. You would have to have your RC, I mean, if your RC is going past that point, that far down when it squats, you need to stiffen up your springs. This thing, when it squats, should basically squat down, hit the wheelie bar. It should only transfer that much, and then when it hits it, the tires are going to grow, and then the RC is going to get higher in the back. So this control arm or this axle on this side should never hit that cover. Now, if you're forcing the wheel up like this, bottoming it out, yes, it's hitting the cover. But it should never go that far, ever. Never. You should never have to go that far. Hopefully I made that clear. I can say it again. Never, ever, ever should it ever transfer that far down to hit the spur cover. And if it does, and you're transferring that far, and that's the only way you can get it to work, take the spur gear cover off. You don't need it. You don't need that silly cover covering up your spur gear. Unless you're going to run it through a puddle of water. If you're going to run yours through a puddle of water, then you might want to take that cover off. But my drag car is not going to go near a puddle of water. It's just not going to happen. At least not for me. Wheels off the ground. That way they don't get flat. They don't turn oblong like these. That's so ridiculous. So I'm going to contact Proline and figure out what they want me to do with these tires. I'll probably send these reactions back. I have reactions on another one of my drag cars that are glued. So at least I think they're glued. If they're not glued, I'm going to steal those reaction tires and put them onto the Losi, because I want to run the Losi with reaction tires on it. So this one has brand new reaction tires that I haven't run on this one. I wonder if these are out of round 2. And it really looks like it is. I might spin up this RC. See, and these don't feel as bad when I squish this down. Oh yeah, see right there, it's got a little play. Yeah, it still has the same slop. But I got to figure out why those reaction tires have got a flat spot in them, considering I open up the bag and put them right on here. So, but there we go, guys. Make some changes. I'll see you guys out tomorrow. Plans are to run the Losi a little more and to run the Traxxas some more. See if I can improve on these times. What did I do with the Klondike bar? Because here's one. Where's the other bolt for that? Here it is. Hate taking stuff off RCs and then losing hardware. But I just found one of the bolts for the Losi and one for the Traxxas. So this is the Traxxas, which takes one long and one short. And where did the other one go? There's the short bolt that goes in there. Now I just need the long bolt for that. Yeah. I have a feeling I dropped it somewhere. But there we go. That's going to end today's video. We're going to get both of these out tomorrow and see if I can make a pass with each. So I'm going to get the batteries out. I'm going to get everything charged today. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching.